Yes, guys, how is it going? So, just been in Dubai for 2 days now, and it's actually just about to be midnight, and sleeping pattern's still ruined. Not necessarily because of the 4 hours difference, just because I got in at about 2 a.m. 2 nights ago, went out the next night, so I've been sleeping really, really late. So sleeping pattern's ruined at the moment. Hopefully, I can bring it back on track. A little bit of ink from writing just a second ago. But just got into Dubai 2 days ago, and I feel really compelled to do this video. Now, this isn't going to be the most useful kind of on a strategic or tactical level video that I've ever done. But as I've got here, and I've spent the last 2 days here, it's got me reflecting on the entire journey, that I've been on, business-wise and everything else. The reason that I'm here, and a belief that I really have when it comes to success in life and business that I think is really, really useful, and I wanted to share with you. So I came to Dubai this time around for a mastermind. So in a couple of days' time, I'm going to be with a group of maybe 30, 35 other coaches, consultants, entrepreneurs and stuff like that. Some of them making even 7 figures and stuff like that, joining their mastermind for the next 3 days, learning, sharing things, and just growing as a whole. But what you might not know is I lived in Dubai 2 years ago. I lived in Dubai 2 years ago for 2 years. Funnily enough, I actually came over to Dubai for a business event, a 3-day business event, 4 years ago, and I never left. I didn't leave for a year afterwards. I literally packed my bag for a week and I never left for a year. Anyway, I'm getting really sidetracked. So I come over for this reason, right? And already in the last 2 days since coming over and just, spending time with cool people, smoking cigars in fun places, going out, having fun, and all of this kind of stuff, already, just trying to move this, one sec, already, I can feel my mind expanding. I can feel my identity shifting again to a new gear, to a new level. And I can feel my expectations of myself and what I could see for myself in the future to be expanding already. And I've barely done anything. I've been here before for 2 years. I've only been here again for 2 days, and I can already feel it, right? So what I wanted to share with you today was all about this. One of the biggest things that I think is a huge factor when it comes to succeeding in life and business is all about identity transcendence. So I've been in this game now of trying to make money online and doing it for 8 years. Actually, it wasn't initially online, it's 9 years. Initially, I was a personal trainer. But it evolved and it evolved and it evolved. And that's exactly what I believe success is down to. It's the evolution of your identity. It's the evolution of how you see yourself. From me, for example, 9 years ago, as a personal trainer, I remember going and doing my first ever session in the back of my boxing gym. It wasn't my boxing gym, it was my uncle's. But in the back of the gym, using their space for my first couple of sessions. I remember being nervous. To all the way now, coming over and joining a room of 35 or so coaches, some even doing 7 figures, maybe even more. The evolution has been real. And every single time when I look back at my journey, at my growth, at the times where I've almost gone through like some sort of quantum leap in growth, every single time it's come down to a transcendence of my past identity. Identity is how we see ourselves, how we believe the world sees us. Because how we see ourselves internally, it reflects onto everything else. Who you think you are and how you see yourself, what you think that you're worth, what you believe, all of these things, how you react to things. All of these things are mirrored back to you. Because as soon as you believe it internally, the world has no option but to see that in you as well, right? So however you see yourself, that is going to then dictate your thoughts. That's then going to dictate your actions, and that's then going to dictate your results, right? So it's identity, thoughts, actions, results. So then you get the results of the person who you think you are, and it stays that cycle. But furthermore, on top of that, the world sees you as who you think you are as well, because it can't work the other way around, right? So however you see yourself internally, the world sees you as that, and the world treats you like that. And again, that's another vicious cycle. You know, it's a vicious cycle of, well, you know, let's just take a funny, like a male example, that there's a guy that doesn't think girls like him. If you're moving around like girls don't like you and you never get girls, well, guess what? They're gonna see you as a guy that girls don't like and you're never gonna get girls, right? So then what happens? Girls don't like you and you never get girls. And then how do you think about yourself? Girls don't like me and I never get girls. It's a vicious cycle, and it continues and continues and continues. And if we're not careful, it can get worse and worse and worse. But the problem that a lot of people do is they are waiting for the world to tell them it's time to level up. This is the biggest problem that holds so many people back, is they're waiting for the world to give them the signal. They're waiting for the external world to give them permission to transcend their current identity and step into the next one. And guess what? It never happens, because it has to come from you first. It has to start shifting internally first to then be able to be reflected by the world, to be able to start changing your results, for people to start see you like that. And then eventually there's another level and another level and another level. I've felt this time and time again in my own journey, 100%, and it is essential to being able to move forward. So as I say this, right, the first thing to think is, what's that next milestone for you in business, right? What's that next milestone for you? Where do you want to be? What's the goal? And ask yourself, let's say you want to be hitting 10K months. And right now, maybe you're at 5. So ask yourself, what does the 10K version of you do when they wake up in the morning? How do they react to someone saying no to them? How do they react to a client canceling? How do they react when a new prospect pops up in their DMs? How do they operate? How do they think? How do they behave, right? Think about that identity. When things are going bad for them, what are they thinking in their head? What's the internal dialogue of that 10K version of you? This goes for any other goal as well, of course. Identify what that identity is, and then start to have the awareness in your day and in your life, so that you can notice when you would usually do the old behavior and you can start to do the new behavior, right? It is that simple. So it goes identify first, right? Identify the identity that you need to step into as far as you're currently aware. It's going to be hard to be 100% certain on that, right? But identify what you believe needs to shift around you, your beliefs, the way that you operate, everything about you, right? Identify that first. And next is awareness. As you go through, it's not going to happen on its own, and it's not going to happen when you've written it down on a piece of paper. Next is awareness. As you go through life, as you go through your day-to-day, you must keep very high awareness on when you are about to react as the old version of you. You are about to react as that old identity that's been keeping you where you are. As you have the awareness, you then need to be able to take that new action, and done over and over again. And that doesn't even go for physical actions, it also goes for thoughts as well, being aware of your thoughts, being aware of the actual thought patterns that are going on in your head. As you start to notice these things and you can start to take that new action, what happens? The action happens, the world sees you this way, your results come back to you as that new version of yourself. And as slowly but surely it starts to be reinforced to the point where it is normal. This is how other people have things that, way more than you, and it's completely normal to them because this evolution happens, right? And once that's normal, there's usually a new one. Personally, I found that meditation is one of the most powerful ways to raise that awareness, because when we're meditating, what we're really doing is sitting there and being aware of everything. We're aware of our physical sensations, we're aware of the thoughts that are coming through, and we're practicing being the witness, right? The witness of our thoughts. We're not our thoughts, but we're the witness of it. It's the same that we need to do to grow and shift that level of identity that we're being. We need to be able to get inside that gap between stimulus and response, get inside that gap with the awareness, and then be able to shift that response to the response that you want. Done enough, it will start to shift, right? That's what you can do right now. But many people never get to that next level because they never do the things that that person at that level should be doing, right? So if you're trying to get to 10K, but you're never around people that are actually at that level, and 10K is just literally an easy number to throw out there. It could be anything, right, for you. But if you're never getting around people that are at that level, virtually or physically or anything else, you're never getting around these people, or at least one person. You're never seeing how they act, or you're never getting around environments and places where that level of wealth, or whatever the goal is that you're thinking about, that is normal. If you're not getting around those environments, it's going to be very hard to make that shift, because it's going to be very hard to have the identification of who you need to become and who you need to step out and step into being. So the second part of this, and this, again, looking back over my journey, has been one of the most game-changing things, is investing in yourself to be able to be around the right people that raise your game, and they give you more information about how you need to become, who you need to become, how you need to be, to be able to get the result. Problem is, again, a lot of people that are stuck in their identity is because, let's just take this example again. You're trying to get to 10K, you're now at 5K. Let's say you have the belief that a 5K a month coach, business owner, whatever, doesn't invest in themselves, but a 10K one does, right? So you don't invest in yourself because you haven't seen the proof that the investment's going to come back round again. So you see yourself as someone that's not worth investing into, and it never starts to shift, right? So invest in yourself, or even just invest in being able to be around in the places that have that level of success that you're trying to get to, so you can start to see how it feels, see how people at that level or with these things actually operate, so you can take that and you can slowly start to shift your level of identity. The final one is forced evolution, right? There may be things in your mind right now, you've hopefully by this point you've got your own goal in your mind of where you're trying to go. There may be things that you have thought, I will do that when I am this person. I will do that when I am at 10K, for example. When I make 10K, that's when I'll go public speak, that's when I'll do this, that's when I'll do that, right? Remember, 10K is just the random number that we've chosen. This is not specifically for that. But you might be saying that, right? When you can commit to yourself of doing the thing that you deem as someone would only do when they're that level of identity, that is the forced evolution to make you raise yourself to that level of identity, right? That is the thing that is going to raise your actual identity to that level. I remember doing it here when I was last in Dubai. Me and my friend did a public speaking event in one of these co-working spaces. And we went into these co-working spaces with all these different Dubai-based businesses or online businesses and stuff like that, and we did a talking event in front of them. And I didn't want to do it. I thought, oh no, that's someone that's for someone else. That's for someone that's further along ahead of the journey, right? But once you committed to it and you're doing it, you are that person. You have to be that person, right? And then again, the thoughts, the behaviors, the results, that cascade starts happening in the way of your new identity. So I may have got off topic today. I didn't even know what I was going to talk about, to be honest. I just knew that I needed to hit record. But I don't even know how I'm going to end this, to be honest. I hope that helped. If you're watching this right now, I really want you to genuinely think about this. What is the next level of success for you and whatever you're looking at? And more importantly, who do you need to become to actually attain that? What is the actual identity that you need to step into now? You know, if you're whenever you're watching this, what's the next thing that you can do over the next 3 days? What's the big thing that you can commit to that is going to allow you to step to that next level of identity? Is there environments or groups or communities that you can get around that, again, is going to raise that level for yourself? And are there places you can go that are going to just expand your horizon, expand what you believe is possible? Is there anything that you can do right now? If there is, drop it in the comments. It'd be interesting to hear. But that's it. And this truly has been one of my most, when I look back, one of the biggest things that I think makes a huge amount of success. And now that I help coaches myself, I see this all the time. You know, identity transcends everything else. When people don't see themselves as the person that should be doing well, they don't do well. They don't do the things that someone that does well does, so they don't do well. So how do you need to start to see yourself? How do you need to start to act? And what can you do to step towards that? That's everything. I'm sure there'll be a few more videos from Dubai before I go. We've got a tiny little glimpse of the marina over here. Just a little glimpse, that's all we get. Take action on this video. It could truly change your life.